When hip-hop beef crosses the line, somebody always steps in, and this time it's Boosie Badazz. After shocking comments surfaced about 50 Cent's late mother, allegedly coming from T.I. and his son, King Harris, the internet exploded. Fans were outraged, calling the remarks disrespectful and completely off-limits. But Boosie didn't just tweet. He went all the way in a fiery response. He defended 50 Cent and made it clear that mocking someone's deceased mother is a boundary you simply don't cross. Now, social media is divided. Tensions are rising. And this rap feud just hit a whole new level. The latest chapter in hip-hop drama exploded when Boosie Badazz publicly blasted T.I. and his son King Harris after shocking comments emerged about the late mother of 50 Cent. Sabrina Jackson, what started as a standard social media quarrel between two rap legends quickly turned personal when King Harris reportedly mocked 50 Cent's mother, even going as far as referencing her grave in a social media post that featured insulting visuals. Fans were instantly outraged, calling the move a line that should never have been crossed. Boosie, known for his fearless commentary in hip-hop beefs, didn't hesitate to step in and defend 50 Cent, emphasizing that while competition and lyrical attacks are part of the culture, family, especially deceased loved ones, should remain off-limits. The tension traces back to a series of exchanges earlier this year when 50 Cent and T.I. were involved in a heated social media back and forth over a rumored Versus battle, a platform where hip-hop artists showcase their hits in a one-on-one format. While 50 initially appeared interested, he ultimately declined, prompting T.I. to accuse him of disrespect and cowardice. Diss tracks quickly followed, with T.I. releasing songs like War and Right One, taking aim at 50 Cent's career, legacy, and public persona. Though aggressive, these tracks were standard competitive play within hip-hop. What escalated the conflict, however, was King Harris's involvement, which shifted the feud from public rivalry to a deeply personal attack. In his posts and a newly released diss track, King Harris allegedly made offensive remarks about 50 Cent's late mother and even encouraged digging up her grave, adding visuals to emphasize his disrespect. This bold move immediately drew backlash, not only from fans but from the hip-hop community at large. Boosie, recognizing the severity of the insult, took to social media to call out both T.I. and King Harris, stating that mocking someone's deceased family member is beyond disrespectful and crosses an unspoken line in hip-hop culture. In video clips circulating online, Boosie condemned the actions, framing them as a breach of the code of ethics in rap, where rivalries may be intense but boundaries exist, particularly when it comes to family. Many fans praised Boosie for defending 50 Cent, with viral comments on Twitter and Instagram asserting that even in the midst of heated feuds, some things are untouchable, while 50 Cent himself largely avoided direct retaliation in the form of music, choosing instead to respond with memes and social media commentary. Boosie's intervention amplified the seriousness of the situation. Industry commentators quickly picked up the story, noting that even historic rap battles like Nas vs. Jay-Z or Tupac vs. Biggie rarely drag deceased family members into disputes. By violating this boundary, King Harris, and by extension, T.I., sparked a discussion on respect, legacy, and limits in modern hip-hop beefs. Social media became a battleground, with fans divided between those defending the Harris family's right to respond and those condemning their actions as cruel and unnecessary. Boosie's passionate stance reminded everyone that while rap feuds are often public spectacles, there are lines that should not be crossed, and attacking a deceased parent is one of them. The backlash extended beyond fan forums, with commentators and journalists highlighting the potential consequences of personal attacks in the digital age, especially when they involve family. The discussion also touched on the generational divide within hip-hop, where younger artists might blur boundaries in pursuit of attention, while veterans like Boosie uphold traditional codes of respect. Despite the controversy, the feud remains unresolved, with T.I. continuing to release music targeting 50 Cent, King Harris maintaining a provocative social media presence, and Boosie holding firm in his condemnation. This episode is a stark reminder that while hip-hop thrives on competition and lyrical skill, respect for family, particularly those who have passed, is still a value that resonates with both artists and fans. It is clear that Boosie's involvement has shifted the narrative, not just reigniting the feud, but also framing it within the larger conversation about morality, boundaries, and accountability in the music industry. As the story unfolds, it remains uncertain whether 50 Cent will respond musically, whether T.I. and King Harris will double down, or if the feud will find resolution. But one fact is certain: mocking a loved one's grave has sparked outrage that extends far beyond just music, touching on fundamental issues of respect and decency. This incident will likely be remembered as one of the more controversial moments in modern hip-hop, illustrating how quickly personal attacks can escalate and how influential voices like Boosie can intervene to call out unacceptable behavior. In the weeks following the incident, social media continues to buzz with opinions, reactions, and heated debates, ensuring that this feud remains at the forefront of hip-hop conversations. With Boosie firmly positioned as the voice defending boundaries and respect, as the feud continued to heat up, the hip-hop community and fans alike began weighing in, and it quickly became clear that Boosie's fiery defense of 50 Cent had struck a chord. Social media platforms were flooded with comments supporting Boosie's stance, with thousands of fans declaring that mocking a deceased parent is beyond the pale. Even in the notoriously combative world of rap, clips of King Harris posts and the controversial visuals referencing 50 Cent's late mother circulated widely, fueling outrage. Many argued that while lyrical jabs and diss tracks are part of the culture, there is an unspoken code that keeps family, especially deceased relatives, out of public attacks. Hip-hop purists pointed out that Boosie's reaction was not only justified, but necessary to maintain that boundary. Meanwhile, online debates exploded between supporters of 50 Cent and those defending T.I. and King Harris. Some younger fans argued that everything in modern hip-hop is fair game, citing past instances where personal matters have been dragged into disputes. Others condemned the Harris family, stating that the comments about 50 Cent's mother had crossed a line and showed a lack of respect for the genre's history and ethics. Memes, reaction videos, and comment threads quickly proliferated, with Boosie's own clips going viral as he clearly articulated that certain things in life, especially attacks on the deceased, are simply untouchable. Hip-hop forums and Reddit threads were filled with long discussions dissecting the moral implications, with many users praising Boosie for reminding the younger generation of old-school respect codes. The media also picked up on this story, amplifying its impact. Outlets like XXL, Hot New Hip Hop, and That Grape Juice covered the controversy extensively, analyzing each side of the conflict. Interviews with industry insiders highlighted the dangers of taking rap beefs too far, particularly when family members are involved. Music journalists stressed that while fans may enjoy drama and controversy, there are cultural lines that should not be crossed, and mocking a deceased mother is one of the most egregious violations. Analysts also noted that Boosie's intervention could influence how other artists navigate disputes, encouraging them to avoid personal attacks that go beyond professional or lyrical competition. In addition to the fan and media reactions, other rappers and artists began weighing in. Some offered indirect support for Boosie's position, reinforcing the idea that family and personal boundaries should be respected, while others stayed silent, possibly recognizing the sensitive nature of the situation. The story also reignited conversations about accountability on social media, particularly when young artists like King Harris use platforms to escalate feuds. Many commentators emphasized that online posts have real-world consequences, and crossing certain lines can tarnish reputations permanently, a lesson that seems to resonate in this case. The controversy also had a ripple effect on T.I.'s public image. While he has a long-standing legacy as a rapper and entrepreneur, many fans criticized him for allowing his son to participate in such a deeply personal attack. This perception of a lack of oversight or restraint reflected poorly on T.I., with some arguing that as an experienced artist, he should have prevented his family from crossing ethical boundaries. Others, however, framed it as part of the generational clash in hip-hop, where younger artists push limits to stand out, sometimes clashing with the wisdom of their mentors, despite all the drama. 50 Cent maintained a measured approach, known for his strategic use of social media. He avoided escalating the feud directly through music, instead using humor and memes to engage with the situation. This tactic seemed intentional, allowing others like Boosie to take the moral high ground while keeping the spotlight on T.I. and King. Harris' controversial actions. Fans noted that this approach highlighted 50 Cent's experience in navigating public feuds and his ability to avoid making matters worse, even when personally attacked. As the weeks unfolded, the discussion evolved beyond just the feud itself. Social media commentary increasingly focused on broader cultural issues, respect, boundaries, and how artists should navigate conflict responsibly. Boosie's intervention became a talking point, not only for his fans but also for hip-hop communities online and offline, showing that even in a genre built on competition, there are ethical lines that resonate universally. The incident sparked a renewed interest in hip-hop history, with many recalling past feuds where artists respected boundaries around family, underscoring how this moment marks a generational shift in behavior and expectations. Ultimately, Boosie's vocal stance did more than just offend 50 Cent. It reignited important conversations about respect in hip-hop, responsibility on social media, and the limits of competitive rivalry. While the feud remains active, with T.I. continuing to release music targeting 50 Cent and King Harris maintaining a provocative presence online, the broader impact of Boosie's intervention is evident. Fans, artists, and media outlets alike are now engaging with questions about ethics and accountability, reminding everyone that some lines are sacred, and mocking a loved one's grave is one that should never be crossed. The story continues to unfold. But one fact is clear. Boosie has firmly positioned himself as a defender of respect in hip-hop, ensuring that this feud will be remembered not only for its drama, but also for the important conversations it sparked. In the days following Boosie's explosive response, the fallout continued to ripple across social media, leaving both fans and industry insiders closely watching how T.I. and King Harris would respond. While some expected a heated rebuttal, neither T.I. nor King Harris immediately escalated the situation publicly, perhaps realizing that the backlash for mocking 50 Cent's late mother had already tarnished their reputation. Boosie's vocal defense had shifted public perception, casting him as the moral authority in the feud. And many fans began praising him not only for standing up for 50 Cent, but also for reminding the hip-hop world about basic respect and boundaries. Viral clips of Boosie condemning the actions of T.I. and his son spread across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, racking up millions of views and reigniting conversations about accountability and ethics in hip-hop culture. Celebrity reactions also began trickling in. Fellow rappers and artists, some of whom have had long-standing relationships with both 50 Cent and T.I., offered varying takes, while a few chose to remain neutral. Others commended Boosie's courage for calling out behavior that many considered a breach of hip-hop etiquette. Industry commentators highlighted that Boosie's intervention was especially significant given his own history of public feuds. He knows how the game works, but clearly drew a line when it came to personal attacks involving deceased family members. The consensus among many fans and insiders is that Boosie successfully reminded everyone that some rules transcend rivalry, respect for family, and the memory of loved ones is not up for debate. Meanwhile, the social media storm only intensified. with fans creating hashtags and sharing memes, supporting Boosie while criticizing King Harris's controversial posts. Discussions emerged about the generational divide in hip-hop, with older artists like Boosie and 50 Cent embodying a code of ethics that younger stars sometimes ignore in pursuit of clout or online attention. Analysts pointed out that these incidents illustrate the double-edged sword of social media. While it amplifies voices and allows artists to engage with fans directly, it also magnifies missteps and holds celebrities accountable in real time. Amidst the chaos, 50 Cent continued to handle the situation strategically, using humor and carefully timed posts rather than issuing a direct musical response. Fans noted that this approach allows him to maintain his composure while letting T.I. and King Harris bear the weight of public criticism. It also reinforces Boosie's point. There are ways to engage in rap rivalries without dragging deceased family members into the fray. Many see 50 Cent's restraint as a calculated move that highlights his experience in navigating feuds, contrasting sharply with the impulsiveness of King Harris posts. As the dust begins to settle, it is clear that Boosie's intervention has left a lasting mark on this feud. The drama is no longer just about diss tracks or social media jabs. It has become a cultural conversation about respect, legacy, and accountability within hip-hop. Fans and industry observers alike are watching closely to see what T.I. and King Harris will do next, while Boosie remains a central figure in the narrative, advocating for boundaries that should never be crossed. The incident serves as a stark reminder that in the world of rap, words and actions carry weight. And some lines, like mocking a loved one's grave, are universally understood as untouchable. With Boosie's fiery stance and 50 Cent's measured approach, this feud has not only provided drama for fans, but also sparked important discussions about ethics, respect, and the rules of engagement in modern hip-hop. The drama between Boosie, T.I., King Harris, and 50 Cent has proven that in hip-hop, respect isn't optional, it's everything. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Boosie was right to call out T.I. and King Harris for crossing the line? Or was this just another social media spectacle? How far is too far when it comes to rap beefs? Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts. Drop your opinions in the comments and tag your friends who follow the hottest hip-hop feuds. Stay tuned as this story develops. Because one thing's for sure, in a world where words carry power and family is sacred, the next move could change everything. Don't miss a beat. Engage, discuss, and let the debate rage on.